Hey Hermes, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
What kind of things can you help me with today?
I can help with things like writing, editing, and reviewing code, debugging.
Hermes, can you build me a browser-based Space Invader style game? And while we have that running in the background, let's give it one more task. A goal which requires a lot of research. Hermes, can you find the top YouTube channels in the AI and automation space, find their top 5 videos, transcribe them, and see what makes them work and give me a detailed report. Alright, so we have these two tasks running in the background, one to make a Space Invaders game and two for a detailed competitive report. So this is Hermes agent, not running through the terminal or through Telegram or iMessage. Instead, it's running through a voice-powered agentic OS like JARVIS from Iron Man. And here's the twist. I got the agent, Hermes, to build its own body. In this video, I'll take you through the whole thing, step by step, and by the end, you'll have your own JARVIS running on top of Hermes. The ears, the voice, and this whole mission control. And I'm not skipping the boring setup either because that's exactly where every other tutorial might leave you stranded. Do this and you've got a voice-controlled Hermes agent AI employee, while everyone else is still typing prompts one line at a time. So what is this thing actually running on? It's an open source AI agent called Hermes, built by a group called Noose Research. And the important word is yours. You install it on your own machine, it's free, and unlike the AI chat in your browser or on a desktop app, it doesn't live on someone else's servers. It's got memory, it picks up new skills over time, and it can reach you anywhere. Telegram, WhatsApp, Slack, email, you name it. But here's the part that makes it different from a chatbot, and why people are moving to these in the first place. An agent doesn't just answer, it does. Hermes can search the web, drive a browser, write and run its own code, open and edit your files, and it can do all of that on a schedule on its own. A daily competitor sweep, a morning brief, a nightly backup, all firing while you're asleep and pinging your phone when it's done. That's not just a chat assistant, it's a worker that lives on your computer. There's just one catch. Out of the box, you talk to that worker by typing in a terminal or over text on your phone, which is completely fine until you picture the alternative. What if you could just talk to it, say one sentence out loud, hear it answer in a real voice, and watch it work on a screen in front of you? That's the entire idea behind JARVIS. Hermes is the worker, and JARVIS is the ears, the voice, and the so-called face. An always-on layer that turns an agent you text into an assistant that you can talk to. The same brain underneath, but a completely different thing to actually use. And that exact combination, an agent that works on its own, that you run by voice, is what automation agencies charge 5 figures to stand up, and what a lot of operators pay a VA $2,000 a month to fake. You're going to build it yourself in this video. And before you tune out thinking this is a hardcore coding video, it isn't. The agent does the hard part. I mostly just describe what I want. If you can copy, paste, and talk, you can build this. So here's the frame for the whole build. We're not making a smarter AI, we're taking an agent that already works and giving it a way to hear you, talk back, and stay running when you're gone. Which means step 1 is getting that worker itself, Hermes, up and running on your machine. So let's do that first. A quick word from this video's sponsor, me. This is basically what I do. I go into a business, I find the thing that's actually costing them, and I build the AI system that solves it. So if you're stuck working in your business instead of on it, there's a link in the description to work with me directly. And if you'd rather just build it yourself, the school community is down there too. 40 plus plug and play automations ready to go. Alright, now back to it. Alright, so step 1, we have to set up Hermes Agent, and you can do that by heading over to hermesagent.nooseresearch.com. I'll leave a link in the description, and you can either install the desktop app just by clicking here, or you can install via the terminal, and you can do that both for Mac or for Windows depending on what your system is. So I'm going to copy this piece of text, open up a terminal window, I'm going to paste in the command, hit enter. And once it's installed all the dependencies, it's going to bring us to this setup screen. So if you want to use News Portal's own AI providers and everything else built in through News Portal, you can choose quick setup. But since I have all of my own separate API keys and my own AI providers, I'm going to go to full setup and hit enter. And then choose your provider. I would recommend using OpenAI, meeting the ChatGPT subscription that you're already paying for. And even though I've been using both ChatGPT and Hermes quite heavily, I still have not run into any usage limits. I'm not using GPT 5.6, I'm using GPT 5.5, but it still does a very good job. So hit enter, and then instead of OpenAI API, choose OpenAI Codex and for the provider, choose OpenAI Codex, hit enter. And then since I've already got this installed, it's asking me if I want to use existing credentials, but let me show you how to do it from start. So click re-authenticate or new OAuth login, whatever option you're seeing, hit enter. And then it's going to give you a URL and give you a code. So go ahead, copy this URL. Now into the browser where I'm already logged into ChatGPT, I'm going to paste that in, choose my account, continue, and you'll see that I have a code to enter. Paste it in, hit continue, and you'll see that I've signed into Codex. So I'm just going to stick to GPT 5.5 for now because it does a decent enough job and I don't really want to be overkill with the latest 5.6 models. So just hit enter. As for the terminal backend, you can keep the current one, which is fine. And now for messaging platforms, I've already got Telegram configured. So if you want, you can go ahead and do that. But since we're actually going to be building out JARVIS, which is essentially going to be a messaging platform for Hermes, you can just skip this step altogether. So if you want, go ahead and set up Telegram or whatever other messaging provider that you want. The steps are quite easy to follow, or you can just hit escape to cancel. So I'm just going to hit escape. I don't want to reconfigure my Telegram. And yes, I do want to restart the gateway to pick up changes. Next up, you can go ahead and configure any tools for Hermes. And this will really depend on what you want to be able to do with your Hermes and JARVIS setup. I'd recommend that you go down this list and see whichever tools that would be relevant to you in your workflow, and just go ahead and enable those. You may need to set up additional API keys, Firecrawl for web browsing, or OpenAI itself for image analysis and image generation. Go down the list, hit space to enable whichever one you want to set up. And once all of that is done, you'll see that we are now back at the original folder, and this means that Hermes agent has been set up. And to start chatting, just simply type in Hermes, hit enter, and we will now get this screen, which is the Hermes chat screen. So if you say hi, we should get a response saying, hi, how can I help today? Amazing. Next up, we need to build out JARVIS. Now here's the move that makes this feel like the future. I'm not going to build the dashboard by hand. I'm just going to hand the agent a single prompt and have it build its own interface. This exact prompt is in the README, which I'll link to in the description below. I open Hermes in the terminal or through Telegram or whatever chat interface that you're using. Just paste in the prompt and watch it write the files. So essentially the prompt is telling it to build a local dashboard with that Iron Man HUD look, wire it to the Hermes gateway, and remember, this is the difficult part, but because Hermes can actually read its own files and understand how it works, it does all of that heavy lifting for you. It's going to add the voice in and the voice out pipeline. It's going to add the slash command buttons, the approval system, and a kill switch for the voice. And on top of that, a mission control panel, one prompt, and the whole spec. Now, is it going to get it right in one go? Maybe, maybe not, but let's see what it comes back with, and we can ask it to modify itself as needed. So in about 8 minutes, we have the initial version of the dashboard ready. Now we do have to restart the gateway once, so let's go ahead and copy this command, restart the gateway, service restarted, perfect. And then we go ahead and grab this URL, copy. All right, so there it is, the entire dashboard up and running. So what I think Hermes did here is take a shortcut, since I already have this JARVIS setup in another folder. This is the new setup, it's not the old one, but because Hermes had that old setup to refer to, it pretty much referred to it and rebuilt it. And you know that it's there because we do have the JARVIS demo folder and all of the files that it created as a result. So everything seems to be working, and to test and make sure that the gateway is up and running, we can just type in a message, send to Hermes, and we should get a response.
Hi, what can I help you with today?
Perfect. And you'll notice that the voice synthesis is happening through the browser, which is why it isn't as good as it was in the demo, and that's because we have not set up 11 Labs yet. So that's what we're going to do next. Now, in case you did this, you're following along and it didn't really turn out the way that you were expecting, the fix is really easy. You can just talk to Hermes agent through that same terminal window or through that same Telegram chat and just ask it to make those specific changes that you want. So if the HUD reactor didn't come quite in the position or the size that you wanted, or some of the spacing is off, or even if some of the functionality seems broken, just go ahead and tell Hermes agent to make that change for you. It's gonna go back, fix it, and reload the page for you. Because the agent builds its own body from prompting itself. And that's really the skill now. Instead of coding, it's more about directing. And it's not magic intelligence, it's just a web page talking to an agent. But the fact that the agent actually went ahead and built that web page that talks to it, that's the part that I still can't get over. And even though I've been doing this for so long. So the takeaway is that you don't build tools like this anymore. You just describe them and correct them, and the agent does the actual work for you. So we know that it can hear me now, and we know that it can answer back to us, but the voice quality isn't really there. So that's what we're gonna do next. Give it a real voice. So you'll see that it's still working on the competitive videos, but it has delivered the Space Invaders game for us. Start mission, amazing. So we can now play Space Invaders while we wait for the competitive research report to get back to us. So to get the voice to work, we're going to be using a service called 11 Labs. Now 11 Labs is a super powerful suite of AI tools for building voice-powered AI agents, and they also have a very large collection of custom voices and a very powerful text-to-speech engine that we are going to be using in our Jarvis build. The free plan is going to be enough to help you get started, but you might run into limits very quickly. So if and when you do, you will need to upgrade to a paid plan. So once you're logged in and all set up, you're going to see this dashboard. And in case your dashboard doesn't look like this, just go to the top left up here and make sure that you are in 11 API, because that's where we're going to be finding our API keys. To grab your API key, scroll down, under configure, click API keys, click create a key, give it a name, make sure that you have text to speech enabled, speech to speech enabled, speech to text enabled, and voices enabled as well. Once all of that's done, go ahead and click create key, and that is going to generate a key for you. So let me go ahead and do that. It's going to show you the key on screen. I'm going to delete the key once I'm done with this tutorial so that nobody else can use it. Make sure that you don't show your key to anybody. Click copy to clipboard, exit out of this, and then navigate back to that Jarvis demo or whatever folder that you had made. Now there's a file in here called .env, and the .env file is essentially a store of secrets. So whenever the browser makes a request to a server that requires using an API key, the browser is going to dig into this store to grab that API key, and it's a secure way of storing your keys without really exposing them in the code of your browser. So open up the .env file with a text editor, use Sublime Text or Notepad or anything like that. I'm going to use Sublime Text. Just go ahead and drop it in here. And you'll see that we have a 11 Labs API key field. So I'm going to uncomment it, paste in the key, and we also need an 11 Labs voice ID. So to grab a voice ID, we're going to come back in here, click on Voices, go to My Voices, and just explore the library to see whichever voice that you like. Play around with these and just choose any voice. Let's say I'm going to use Drew. This is the one that I used for the demo in the very beginning. On the three dots, click copy voice ID, paste it in here, hit save, and that's basically it. You're done with the 11 Labs setup. All right, so now that we've added the 11 Labs API key, we can run a quick test again. We'll see that we are indeed picking up the 11 Labs service. Hey Hermes, what's going on?
Hey, I'm here and ready. What do you want to work on?
So this is that one touch that makes it feel alive. It doesn't really wait for the whole answer because Hermes is going to answer back in a large chunk of text. What will usually happen is that entire chunk of text, even if it's 200 plus words, gets sent to 11 Labs, gets generated and then gets sent back to you as a response. Now that would obviously take way too long in between, and it would kind of destroy the point of a voice assistant. So what I've gone ahead and done is that Hermes actually breaks up that response into separate chunks, sends each chunk to 11 labs to get turned into voice, and as each voice gets generated, it's sent back to you and streamed, so it all looks fairly natural, and the answer, most importantly, comes back to you much faster. Now, of course, that might result in another problem where if Hermes wants to give you a really long answer, it's just going to keep saying it. It's going to go ahead and read the entire thing out. So let's say you ask it to generate a blog post. Now, you don't want to listen to that entire blog post. You just want to get confirmation that the blog post was indeed generated. Hey Hermes, can you write me a blog post on how Hermes can be a game changer for agencies?
Here's a draft blog post you can use. Title: Why Hermes Agent is a Game Changer for Agencies. Agencies live in a world of context switching. 1 minute you're writing client strategy. The next, you're pulling analytics, drafting a proposal, reviewing,
and kill the voice. Now we have the whole blog post here in the response, but we don't want to listen to Hermes say everything out loud. And that's why the kill voice button is there. The kill voice button is essentially going to stop all of the processes for voice generation and voice playback. So once you have confirmation that the task is done, it's not going to go ahead and read out the entire answer to you if you don't want it to. And this is more a limitation of Hermes and the way it responds, and a workaround that I've built to make sure that this remains usable. So now it hears me, it talks back, and I can shut it up if I need to. And the last piece is that I want to run my entire operations off of this thing without really needing to touch a keyboard. And that is mission control. Now this lower panel is the part that turns Jarvis from a talking toy into a command center. Everything Hermes is doing at a glance. Up top we have overview cards. Is the gateway healthy? How many agent profiles have I got? What events has Hermes done today? And what open tasks are there? Next to them we have agent cards with little activity graphs. The spark lines, so I can see at a glance which agent's been busy. It's the dashboard on a car. I don't have to read it, I can just glance at it. Now one of the most powerful things about Hermes is slash commands. Slash commands are specific ways to give instructions to Hermes. For example, if I want to change the personality, I can use the /personality/ command. If I want to give Hermes another task to do without interrupting what's going on right now, I can give it the /background task command. And if I want to give Hermes a long task to complete, I can use the goal / command, which is the one that we used in the demo, and that final product is still pending, which I'm going to show you very shortly. The schedule card shows my scheduled automations, cron jobs that run on a timer without me even opening this. And the content browser lists the files that the agent has already produced. Click one and the full document opens right here. And the piece that makes this safe to point at your real business is that an agent can touch files and send messages, can also break things. So when Hermes wants to do something risky, Jarvis freezes and throws up a box. Allow once, this session, always, or deny. Nothing dangerous happens without your yes. So the takeaway is that mission control is the difference between talking to an agent and running one. You can see what it's doing, you can schedule it, and stop it touching anything you didn't approve. Alright, so after about 15-20 minutes of working, it has completed the research and given us the full report here, /report.md. So it researched 50 videos, 10 creators, top 5 relevant videos for creators, 34 transcripts. These are the creators that it covered, a high-level conclusion, and winning formulas. Let's go ahead and open up the file and see the report that it got back. And here is the report. Scope and methodology, transcript status, top creators, reusable patterns based on creators, and basically an entire blueprint. Now this kind of research, 40 plus videos, extracting all of the key points from them, understanding everything, this would have taken me the better part of a day to complete. All I had to do was tell Hermes through Jarvis to get started on this, and it took it less than 15 to 20 minutes. I stepped away, I had some coffee, I had some breakfast, and by the time I came back, I was greeted with this report ready to go. Here's the part most people building this for fun miss. This is sellable. Think about who's drowning right now. Service businesses, agencies, any operator whose team lives in 12 tabs, paying a VA $2,000 a month for exactly this kind of always on work. You can build this exact command center wired to their agent as a deliverable. The pitch is one sentence. You talk to your business and it'll answer. Build that for someone and you just became their automation team. This entire setup, the dashboard, the server, the scripts, a GitHub repo that you can copy and paste into any client, is inside the school community. The link is in the description. And if you'd like to work with me one-on-one to build systems like these for your business and find more opportunities to automate the boring stuff, there's a link in the description for that as well.